Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Elev8. This week we've got a very special guest, Andy G. Glass. We got some of his work right here in person for you to look at. Also a bunch at each of our shops and on our website, so be sure to check that out. Before we get into this awesome interview, I want to jump over and talk to Steve real quick, see how his Friday's going.
What up, y'all? I'm Steve, and I really want to say thanks a lot for joining this Elev8. I'm super excited this Friday because we're going to be talking with Andy G. This guy is a wizard when it comes to line work tubing. His colors that he chooses to build this stuff is phenomenal, and I truly love it. It's pure inspiration to me. The first time I seen his work, I was like, holy mackerel, give me some fish. Not really, but anyways, I love it. And I'm super excited that we get to pick his brain here in a little bit and see what inspires him and all that fun stuff. I really want to say also thank you all to coming out to our Heady Halloween. We weren't sure about it, but it turned out really great, really fun, really exciting, and it was super awesome. I also want to say we're launching our Simply Soluble CBD company, simplysoluble.cbd.com. It's a very, very great CBD. It's not just CBD. It's full spectrum made from hemp oil, and it's super good. So it's made with Colorado local grown hemp, and it's really, really fire. Again, super excited here a little bit. Let's get ready for Adam G. and Chris. Take it away, brother.
Well, thanks, Steve. I really appreciate that. I'm super excited to talk to Andy G as well. And let's dive right in. Everybody, welcome Andy G at AndyG_Glass on Instagram. Thanks, Andy.
Hey.
Appreciate you joining us. How are you doing this evening?
Good. Real good. Good.
Working on anything cool in the studio?
Yeah, just working on another order, just making some Sherlocks, actually. Probably similar to what you got on the table right there.
Very nice. Yeah, we got a couple of Sherlocks right here. These will probably be available on our website by the time you guys see this video. So let's dive right in. How did you get started blowing glass?
Honestly, just kind of stumbled into it. A bunch of high school friends. We used to buy some pipes from some guys in California, and after probably about a year went by of us buying a lot of pipes from the dude, he's like, "You guys should learn how to blow glass." So we started blowing glass, and kind of was all just kind of downhill from there, I guess.
Was it were you both self-taught?
Yeah. No, I basically, the guy that we were buying the glass from in California ended up coming out and teaching 4 of us how to do it. Or he basically just kind of taught us how to pull points and do some inside out work. And yeah, that kind of went there.
Where was that you started?
What was that? 1998 in Minneapolis. Minneapolis?
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
We talked to Minnesota Glassblower. Who did we talk to? Micro's workshop. He's out there in Minnesota.
He's actually in Wisconsin. I think he's in Milwaukee, outside of somewhere. But totally cool.
All right. So you said you started in 1998. What was it like starting back then with a basically completely underground glass scene?
Yeah, it was different. There certainly wasn't a lot of color, and it was a lot of fuming work. And yeah, there wasn't the internet, so things were different. You know, you had to do it all on your own pretty much, or know somebody that'd give you a few pointers here and there. But people were pretty tight-lipped back then. Like, they didn't say, there wasn't like it is nowadays. That is for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the exchange of information nowadays is pretty amazing.
It's awesome. It is awesome.
So what sort of items did you start with when you began blowing glass?
Oh man, it was just making like little chillums and little spoons, and trying to make your way up to putting together little hammers and little bubblers and things like that. And then yeah, once I discovered the line work, then it was just kind of all downhill from there. Just like I fell in love with doing all the wig-wag stuff. And I went there.
Yeah. Nice. Did you have a mentor at all early in your career?
Well, I mean, in the beginning, it was really just like the people that the guy who had taught me, because I hadn't seen anything else. Wasn't until probably like 2000 when I finally got on the interweb and started seeing what other people were doing out west and was just blown away, and out east too, I should say. Yeah, that really changed everything. That's once I started seeing Jason, Marcel, Scott Deppe, just everybody, everybody.
Definitely. What or who originally inspired you to try doing the line work?
Really, the guy that taught me. I mean, he was. I guess I should say Brian Padilla probably more. Those were the first like intricate spiral pieces that were sectioned together that I had seen. That I was like, that's awesome. To learn how to do that.
Who was that you started seeing those? Was that about the same time?
What was that?
Was that about the same time around the year 2000 when you started getting into the line work?
No, it was right off the go. It was like 99. Wow. It was right off the go. We would get a lot of Brian Padilla pieces and Bob Battram pieces. So like that's kind of the Sherlock thing. Like I fell in love with Sherlock's from Bob Battram stuff, all the cool drawing stuff that he would do. And then, Brian BP with all the line work and Nicro. And I fell in love with it. I was like, this is awesome. Get down with it.
Very cool. Why did you decide to stick with the line work? Because I mean, we have these amazing pieces right here in front of us, and I'm sure you've progressed.
I went back and forth. I kind of went back and forth. I came out of the line work stuff for a while and did some solid work stuff for a while. Got into honeycombing and stuff for a minute. And then I don't know, it always just kind of came back to line work. I don't know. Something about stacking up reversals, and I don't know, it's fun.
Do you pull all your own color for these?
I do, yeah. And that's the other part of the fun part too, is making the color combos and figuring out how you're going to put it all together,
I would definitely say a signature for me that helps me recognize your work is the just amazing fades of color. You've got a really good eye for choosing what colors to stack.
Thank you. Yeah, I definitely just took with just years of goofing around and making weird different patterns. Then you figure out what really works, and what looks good together.
Yeah, absolutely. Have you been pulling all of your own colors since the beginning?
Yeah. It started out by, drawing stringers inside of funnels, and then graduated to drawing on the outside of tubing and layering clear over that to now the beloved sticks, or vac stack, I should say, I guess the stick stack was something too. Yeah,
absolutely. That's what we do here at our studio. We use a lathe and we stack them all up with the two different size tubings. Do you use a lathe at all?
Yep.
Or is it all hand spot?
No, I got a lathe right over there. I don't know.
There it is right there.
But yeah, definitely got a lathe. Got one about 6 years ago or something. I don't know. After about 2 years of working with 75 mil tubing by hand, I had to get a lathe.
Yeah, you had the Hulk forearms going, and you're like, maybe.
Rollers help out tubing. You have some bench rollers that can make it a little bit more doable with the big tubing.
Yeah, definitely. I don't pull color myself. It seems like a lathe would be an extremely helpful tool.
Yeah, it's key. It definitely takes all the work off of your body. That's for sure. So,
can you tell me a little bit more about like what it was like learning to blow pipes in an era where everything was so like lock and key, and like there's the Operation Pipe Dreams and all of that, and especially in a state where the legality.
Yeah, right. It was basically just kind of underground, running shop to shop. You figure out where all the stores are and try and call them in advance and set up meetings to go there and let them see your work, and hopefully they would buy it, and go around store to store. I just kind of did Minnesota, Wisconsin, touch into Illinois a little bit, and until I discovered like Las Vegas or Age or Champ. So once I discovered the trade shows, then that kind of was like, okay, I'm never going driving around anymore. So yeah, in the early days, it was all about just driving around store to store, and especially the area where I'm at, like it's all winter. I mean, there aren't shows and that kind of stuff up there. I don't know. It's just so cold in the winter.
Yeah, definitely. Could you tell me a little bit about Glasspipes.org? Because that's something that's a little bit before my time as well.
Yeah, that was just a way to get, that was a great way for artists to get their work out there and see other people's stuff as well and meet people, so you could get together on collabs and whatnot. And I mean, it was the first way that the scene was able to get together. I mean, and because everybody's there for the same reason, share their artwork and whatever, make friends.
Yeah, that's something I wish that I could have seen. It's unfortunate that website's been taken down.
Well, I think it's back. They just put it back up. I got some kind of email or notification that it's back up. I think if you do glasspipes.org again, I think there's something there now.
Oh, very cool. All you,
I think so.
Viewers, glasspipes.org.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I have to double check that, but I feel like someone put it back up, and I'm not exactly sure who, but yeah, I feel like I heard something about that.
That's awesome. So what would you say is your favorite type of piece to blow? Rig, Sherlock, spoon pipe, pendant?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I guess I'm between. I really dig making the Kleins right now. I've been having a lot of fun with those. And then I don't know. Anytime I can stack up a lot of reversals, that's really fun too. I've made a couple tubes where you get like 30, 40, 50 of them stacked up. It looks really, really cool. It just takes all week to do.
Definitely.
What was that?
How much time? Those are really awesome. Those are some of my favorite things to see on your page. What is your favorite color to work with? Do you have a favorite?
Not really. I don't know. I seem to. I like opaque stuff. I like like you said, building fades, that kind of stuff. So they're all kind of my favorite color company. I don't know. They're all cool too, I guess. But definitely probably I really like North Star's bright colors they have out right now are great. They flow work so well. But yeah, as far as a favorite color, don't really have one. They're all cool.
You're stacking up multiple colors together, so it kind of makes sense you would have one.
Right. It's all about building fades, and that's really where it comes into like working with all the color companies, and you can build some great fades. Then you get all the different color color spectrums, if you will.
Absolutely, all those different shades. Do you have any color that you won't use at all?
Yeah, there's a couple of them for sure. There's definitely some greens that will crack on you at some point. They'll work great for a while, and then eventually you'll pull a color tube down and you'll look and it'll just be spider checked down the entire tube, and you're like, oh, that sucks. There's two garbage. So yes, there's definitely some greens that I don't play with that they definitely have wrecked my day a couple of times.
That makes sense. That's a common answer that I've gotten to that question.
Right.
Unobtainium are probably the two most common answers.
Well, I didn't hear what you said there a second ago. Oh man, it's breaking up.
Unobtainium?
Oh yeah. Oh dude, yeah. I have a drawer full of that stuff. I don't play with it. I don't know. It's been sitting there for probably 10 years almost.
That's fun.
I definitely had a couple bad run-ins with that stuff as well.
What is the most difficult piece you've attempted? Is it like those Kleins, or is it one of those pieces with 30 different sections stacked together?
Yeah,
or something else?
I guess when you put it all together, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I guess that's the most frustrating is if you do build one of those big Kleins and you do a million pieces and then you drop it or whatever, something just goes wrong and it breaks, and then that's the bad day. That's the worst. That's the only bummer of working this way is it takes you all week to build the pattern, and then if something goes wrong in the building of the piece, then wow, there's your week is gone.
Yeah, because you would say that these pieces are mostly prep work, right? So most of your time goes into it.
Oh, you're jumping around a little bit. Hey.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's all right.
Repeat the question.
The connection, I'm assuming.
No, it's not your fault. Would you say that most of the time in these pieces goes into prep work?
Yeah, well, I mean, the line tubing doesn't take that long to pull, but yeah, you build the sections, and then, yeah, once I get everything together, especially like those the 30 and 40 section tubes, I'll stack all the sections and then build the piece. So I have all the stuff together, I have all the wigwags together when I'm ready to start building everything. Usually do it in like sections of 8 or 10 of them or something like that.
Very cool. Very cool. What would you consider is like the most challenging style of piece to make?
Say that again.
What would you consider to be the most challenging style of piece to make, like shaping wise or construction?
Oh, it's all over the place, man.
That's no worries. No worries. Try again. What is the most difficult style of piece to create?
I guess for me, it's probably sculptural. That's why I don't do much of it. It gives me a headache. Something's never right. So yeah, for me, that seems the most difficult is the sculptural for sure.
Is that something that you consider like on your back burner? You don't really touch that hardly at all?
Oh, hang on. You're going to have to ask it again. It keeps freezing up.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. Is that something that you really don't put any focus on at all?
Here and there I will. I guess like my wife will ask me to make weird things and then that's when it'll come out. But yeah, I generally not that often. No, I don't know. I guess it just, I don't know. I guess maybe later in life I will get into doing it, but at this point, I don't know. I guess I just kind of get into making pipes. I don't know. Stuff.
You collaborate often with other people?
It kind of here and there, yeah. It kind of comes back and forth. I haven't in a minute, no. Yeah, I guess I just haven't, especially with all the COVID stuff, I haven't been getting around at all. But before that too, it was life with kids and stuff. I don't always get to hit the road and go meet people. And I'm such a small studio. It's hard to have people come here. But I do every once in a while get out there and do a few. But yeah, not as much as I'd like to.
Very cool. So you mentioned earlier trade shows and how that was a big shift in your career as far as going from shop to shop to being able to go to a trade show and sell to multiple shops there. What would you say is your favorite trade show?
Oh, right now, Las Vegas for sure. Oh, I'm loving it. It's just kind of reminds me of how age used to be way back. When I guess I shouldn't say way back because I didn't start doing age until like 2011, and I did it for a few years in there, and then a couple of years off, and then went back to Las Vegas. Yeah, it was really fun. I wish I would have got into trade shows earlier. For some reason, I was scared. I don't know. Thought there was more of an investment than there is.
Yeah, that makes sense. Las Vegas was my favorite too. I've been to a couple of the champs up in Denver and Las Vegas once. And Las Vegas was an amazing experience.
Yeah, I did. Last year was my third year of Las Vegas, and it was awesome. It just seems like it gets better and better every year. More and more people are coming, and yeah, see what happens this year. I don't really know yet, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, fingers crossed that there's usually something.
Right.
You have like a rough estimate maybe of the most time you've ever spent on a single piece?
Probably I don't know, probably like 2 or 3 years ago I made a wig-wag tube that I put 60 sections into, and that took me over a week to make. That was probably the longest I had ever gone into one piece, I guess.
That's amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, it was fun. I wish I had more time. I should play around like that more often because that's really how that started. Was I was just goofing around.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm in the goofing around stage of Glasspipes. Very much
Right.
still a beginner, still learning. Do you smoke weed yourself at all?
God, yes.
What's your preferred way?
I guess I'm pretty simple. I'm either a Sherlock or a Pinchy kind of guy usually.
Nice. Do you smoke out of your own pieces?
Oh, of course. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I just whip together cheap things that I can use and throw, I guess. I do certainly use other people's pieces too. But most of the stuff I get from other people kind of just sits in the cabinet. I don't really, it's every once in a while I'll grab someone's and smoke out of it, but usually those are more they sit in the cabinet, you know, and a little showcasing.
What sort of things of your work do you keep nowadays? Do you keep the blemished or second quality pieces?
Oh, for sure. Or yeah, sometimes I give them away too. I don't know, if a friend or whatever, you know, wants a definitely easy way to get rid of them. But yeah, I definitely here and there I'll keep them, but usually they're gifts.
Yeah, that makes sense. What is probably like the biggest change you've seen to the glass industry over the course of your career? Is there a single thing that you could think of?
Mainly the amount of people, the amount of glass blowers, and just the amount of people that are into it. I don't know. It's awesome. It's cool. It's crazy. I guess I don't know if I would have ever saw this coming, to be honest with you. I mean, I guess why wouldn't you? But yeah, it's crazy. You go to the trade shows and there's 1,000 vendors there. It's like, wow.
Yeah, it's like there's more people like me.
Right. Well, yeah, it really starts to feel that way when you're up secluded in the middle of nowhere, living in I don't know, either northern Minnesota or Wisconsin. Yeah, it's
sure
what was that?
I'm sure there's not a whole lot of people kind of like us that are up there.
No, yeah, definitely. I kind of hide out a little bit.
Of course,
right.
Of course. Have you ever competed at any of those trade shows like Champs or anything like that?
Yeah, I was in the first Champs Flame Off in 2010, and yeah, it's just not my speed. I'm a little slower than that.
Yeah,
but it was fun. It was cool. I got to meet people. That was the first trade show that I went to, so that's what kind of opened my eyes to that I should start, doing these shows. I should start getting a booth and do it. Like that was what kind of set me up. I used to work with a company named Everest, and they brought me out there to work in that first Flame Off. And yeah, it was fun. It was cool, but.
Yeah. Oh, gotta repeat it. All right. What sort of things can we look forward to the future for Andy G Glass?
Well, hopefully more sculpture-y kind of stuff. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, kind of just fly by, whatever. Just whatever happens. Probably, definitely, of course, more wigwaggy work and stuff, and probably a lot more layery stuff. But yeah, I don't know. Hopefully, a little bit of sculptural stuff. I'll start playing with that a little bit. Hopefully.
Definitely. So I'm glad you mentioned the layers. I completely forgot. What did you see the layers done by somebody else, and then inspired you to use it with your work, or did that?
I think I definitely saw someone else do it first. I think the first layer stuff I saw was done by like JP from Toro, and probably in the early 2000s, like 2003-ish or something. And I was like, ooh, that's cool. And just kind of figured out how to do it and put my own spin on it or whatever, So yeah, I just kind of figured it out from there. And yeah, now it's really, I use it in a lot of my work nowadays.
Yeah, it's amazing. It adds a literal whole new level, whole new layer to your work.
Thank you.
Very cool. One of my last questions I got here for you is, do you still find the same love and passion that you had when you started?
Oh, for sure, dude. I love every day, man. It's awesome. Like I couldn't imagine doing anything but, I don't know. It's the love and passion is there for sure. Yeah, I couldn't imagine doing anything else. Like I wouldn't even know. I wouldn't even know what I would do. I'm a fisherman or something.
Nice. Yeah, that's a common profession up there. Well, I really appreciate you joining with us today. Is there anything else that you'd like to add or talk about?
I don't know. Yeah, you guys are awesome. Honestly, I really appreciate what you do. The support you give me and whatnot. It's great. Love it.
Oh, appreciate you making this amazing work. Did I cut out again? Freeze? Oh no, did I freeze up?
Yeah, you froze up that was probably the longest one yet.
No, well, we're almost done. That's all right. I said we appreciate you making this amazing work for us. I mean, well, not for us, but making this amazing work that we can sell for you.
No.
So for everybody that's watching, these pieces plus a whole lot more are available at both of our shops and on our website. Thanks again, Andy. I really appreciate it, man.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
Well, you have a great one. Thank you.
Yeah, you too, man. Take
That was super fun. Another big thank you to Andy G for doing that awesome interview with us. And speaking of progress, Elevate Veterans is making some strides as well. So let's hear from them.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much, Chris, for making room for us tonight on Elev8. What a wonderful glass blower. Oh my gosh, I love the art that's coming out of that studio. It's Teresa here, and this is John, and we're with Elevate Veterans. We're here today just to share a little bit more information and education and advocacy so that you can help support the mission of Elevate Veterans. So John, tell me, what was your biggest challenge when you got out as far as finding information?
So I've always been kind of a go-getter, so I didn't have too much of issues, but I definitely can see where there were some hang-ups along my route. And, college is a big thing, getting reacclimated. You're going to have to find, your niche. You got to move on. Now you got out of the military, and what's next? Maybe you thought about it, maybe you haven't. So if you haven't, we got you. This is where we got all the information. I'm going through it right now. Teresa has past experience with all of this information, so,
Right, yeah.
This is definitely a good place to start if you're at a dead end, or maybe you just kind of don't know exactly where to go. This is tons of information here,
And so when I got out of the Army, I didn't go straight to school. I actually didn't start my college education until 2013, and I finished in 2016 with my bachelor. So I went through all that real short, and then went ahead and got my master's because I had not the post 9/11 GI Bill, but the GI Bill.
Yeah, Montgomery.
So I only Montgomery
GI
GI Bill, and I only had a certain amount of time to use it. So I went on to military.com, and I Googled, not Googled, hello, I just told you military.com, not Google. Military.com, and I did a search for colleges in my area, and at that point, I wanted to be a pastor, so I went to seminary. I found a Christian college in my town, and that's where I went. Military.com gave its reviews and all the information about it. So that was a good resource, a good trusting resource, because military.com will not promote a college or an organization that is not doing the right thing. And so that was my first step. And then once I got to the school, I realized I needed another website called eBenefits. Have you ever heard of eBenefits?
Actually, I have, Teresa, and I have an account with eBenefits as well.
Wonderful,
Yeah.
wonderful. Yeah, I believe that eBenefits is the most important account that veterans need as soon as they get out of the military. Make sure you're on the eBenefits government site. That's eBenefits. And then I believe it's .gov. It could be different. But right then and there, you're going to enter your information, and it's going to then take about 24 hours to populate your entire military career. You can get your DD-214, your letters for buying a house. You can find out what your rating is. You can apply for health care there. There's so many things. One of the things that I don't know if you knew, but if you are a veteran and you go to apply for a job anywhere, you have what's called points. So you actually would be looked at before another applicant, and that letter is also found on Elevate, not Elevate Veterans. However, it will be linked. Elevate Veterans will be linked to eBenefits, so you can find all this information there.
Awesome, yeah.
So what else? What else is there? What about your health care? Do you not go to the VA?
No, I do. I'm pausing. Blank. We got a timeout here.
So John, how hard was it to figure out how to get proper health care when you got out of the Army?
Wow, that's a good question, Teresa. So I was lucky because I found DAV pretty early on, and so they helped me file a claim with the VA. And when I got out, almost immediately my claim was approved, and so I was in the system like almost as soon as I got out. There are a bunch of extra steps you have to take at the end that they don't tell you once you are in the system. For example, if you didn't have any dental cleanings within the last 6 months that you served, and you still have your DD-214, it will show you on there that you didn't get a dental cleaning at the end, and you can take that to the VA, and they will provide you one last dental cleaning. So yeah, so people don't know about things like that.
Wow. And so what is the DAV? You said DAV. What does that stand for?
Yeah, so DAV. I'm actually blanking.
Disabled American Veterans?
Oh yeah, there you go, Disabled American Veterans.
Yeah, I
That's right.
believe that's what it stands for. And so that's so good that you found them too, because I didn't find them till years after I had gone and figured out that the VFW was my representative for all of this stuff. And all of the VFWs and stuff, they work for the VA, but the Disabled American Veterans, they do not work for the VA. They do not require any payment. You don't even have to become a member. You can, but they will still help you with your claim 100% of the way through. It took me, I think, 13 years to get where I needed to be.
Wow.
But yeah, but the last 4 years of that 13, I had the DAV. Before that, there was no DAV, but there was really no internet education out there either. So we have now what? My Healthy Vet.
Yeah,
That's a
another
great website where you can order your prescriptions, talk to your doctor, because I like to argue with my doctors.
Yeah, you
And
can message your doctors.
I
directly on
do.
there. Yeah.
I do. I will say, hey, I need this, this, and this medication. I'm sorry, but it's not showing in your records. And I'll be like, sorry, but you need to go back to 2000. Actually, go back to 1993 when I joined the Army, because it's all there. I've had no other health care, ma'am. And they'll be like, well, I can't find it, so I'll screenshot it and send it, and boom, oh, there it is. Stay on top of your stuff.
Yeah.
Stay on top of your stuff. And the My Healthy Vet, I don't know if you knew this, but when you go to the doctor, after you leave, within 48 hours, that visit is uploaded into the computer. So the lung scan that I had a couple days ago showed up in my email before the doctor even got back to me.
Wow.
Right. So My Healthy Vet, keep up with your stuff.
Yeah.
That way you'll know what the doctors are saying and doing.
Yep.
Because it's important. They contacted me this year and told me 2 years ago that I had something wrong with me, but they never contacted me. It's all clear now. That itch. No, I'm just teasing. But anyway, we just want to say thank you so much for supporting us. Support the mission, get education, information, and advocacy at Elev8veterans.com. Elevate mind, body, and spirit.
Well, that was super fun. Thanks to everybody for joining us for another awesome week of Elevated 8. Of course, a huge thank you to Andy G for joining us to talk about his amazing glass work and his career over the course of 20 plus years in this glass game, just killing it. Next week we have another interview lined up with Sherbet Glass, so that one's going to be another one you don't want to miss. Thanks for joining us again. We'll see you next week. Elevate, mind, body, and spirit.